Hello everyone, Andrew here, and I'm going to talk to you today about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and more importantly, Chapter 16, which is the Devil's Workshop of Think and Grow Rich. Now, if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, please smash that like button because it really helps us out and we really appreciate that. Now, the reason I'm going to be talking about this book is I did a video on my top 5 books that will change your life, and if you look up here, there'll be a link to that, and you can see that video as well. And my number 1 book on that video was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, I am a certified practitioner of the law of attraction, and I really believe that the law of attraction keeps bringing me back to this book because I've read this book several times in my life, from cover to cover, and every time I read it, I find something different in it. And I believe it's the law of attraction that brings that out to me when I need a certain thing from that book. It brings it out to me. And I also believe that the law of attraction has brought you here for a reason to watch this video. So stay all the way through to the end. I've got a really great tip at the end that's really going to be, in my opinion, life-changing for people. And I don't say that just half-heartedly. I really believe that if you take the advice to heart, you can really change your life. Now, I want to give a quick overview of the book again, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's the number 1 self-help motivational book of all times. And most people, when they hear that title, they think and Grow Rich, and they think about how it's going to apply to money. And for a lot of people, they don't even want to approach that subject, so they're not interested in the book. But what I'm here to tell you is that's not only what the book is about. The book is about changing your life, because you can take any of the principles that are in here for Think and Grow Rich. There's 13 chapters on accumulating wealth, but you could use any of those principles for any aspect of your life, whether it is a relationship, whether it is for your health, whether it is for your wealth, whatever it is, you can do that. But when I mentioned the law of attraction, and it keeps coming back to me, that this book keeps coming back to me, I reread this book, and the final chapter is called The Devil's Workshop. And you're thinking, well, what does the Devil's Workshop have to do with Think and Grow Rich? So at the end of the book, he talks about the 6 basic fears that everybody has. And there's 6 fears that hold us back from achieving what we want in life. They hold us back from really going for our goals. And there's 6 basic fears. Those 6 basic fears are the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. And he talks about them being the 6 basic fears that stop us from really going after what we want in life. And then follows that up with the Devil's Workshop and what he calls the 7th basic evil. So he calls those 6 fears 6 basic fears, but he calls the 7th one a basic evil because he feels that it is actually worse than any of the other ones that we have. So those are fears, but this is an evil. And he calls it the Devil's Workshop because when you think about it, in most people's mind, what is the most evil thing that's stopping them from doing something? Okay? They associate evil with the devil, so he calls it the Devil's Workshop. I think it's more of a play on words than it is like literally the devil stopping you. But his 7th basic evil is the susceptibility to negative influences. And we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. And for me, and again, I talk about the law of attraction, I think it brought me to that so I would look at myself and realize how I am susceptible to negative influences. His quote here says, "Those who succeed in any calling must prepare their minds to resist this evil." And what he's saying is, you must be prepared to resist those negative influences. The people that tell you, you can't do it, it can't be done, whatever it is, it's for whatever reason it can't be done. There's going to be people that tell you that. It's going to be negative influences. Sometimes it's your own mind telling you this. Maybe you failed at something in the past. I know myself, I've had several businesses and I keep trying again and again and again. And I think now I'm on the right track with my real estate company. But I know that when I started the real estate company, there was that thing in the back of my mind that said, hey, I tried other businesses, they didn't work. Do I want to go through this again? But you've got to keep trying that. So whether that negative influence is coming from your own mind or is coming from an external source, those negative influences are there. So that's what he calls the 7th basic evil, is the susceptibility to negative influences. So in that same chapter, he has self-analysis test questions. And it's 2 to 3 pages of these self-analysis questions that you need to really sit down and answer yourself very honestly with. And take a day or two to read all the questions, write all your answers down to them, and then review them again, and you'll really come away looking at yourself differently. So one of the things that he says is, with these self-analysis test questions, is once you can answer these questions, you will know more about yourself than you ever have in your life. And so there are a series of questions that you ask yourself, you give yourself honest answers to, and you really stop and look at what's holding me back from achieving my goals that I'm trying to achieve. So you have those self-analysis test questions. And then also in the same chapter of the Devil's Workshop, he has 55 famous alibis. And everybody has alibis. And he talks about how alibis are... we'll defend our alibis because we made them up. So if we make up an alibi, we're going to keep defending that alibi because it's part of us. And so he talks about the 55, he calls them if-only alibis. And I think everybody has used most of these alibis. You know, if I only have more time, if I had only started earlier, if I only have more money, if I only have more talent, whatever it would be. I know I've used a lot of them before too. They're excuses, but people use them as an alibi. You know, if you say, well, you know, I was going to go to the gym if I only had more time. And all of a sudden, you're going to defend that alibi by saying, I had all these other things I had to do, so I couldn't do that. If I only had more time, I would have done it. So it's an alibi that you've created, and now you're going to defend on that. The most profound thing is the number 55 alibi. So you read through all these alibis, and you realize that we probably all use them, because I know I've used them myself. But number 55 is this. And I had to read this a couple times, and I really think, again, I'm going back to the law of attraction, and I think this is why you're here, and I think this is why I'm here. This is something that I really feel strongly is the number 55 alibi is this. If only, and he says this is the greatest of them all, if I only had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Okay? So stop and think about that for a second. This is kind of the bonus I'm going to go into a little bit here. If I only had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. So when you self-analyze yourself and you really take a good hard look, you will find that everything you need to accomplish is within yourself, okay? Everything you haven't accomplished is probably because you've used an alibi. Or you've been susceptible to a negative influence. Again, the Devil's Workshop, that negative influence that you could be susceptible to. And you're using these alibis. So if I only had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and I would correct it. I think that's so powerful when you can realize what's wrong and that it starts with you. For me, it starts with me. I can see what have I done wrong to this point because I haven't reached some of the goals I want to reach. I can see what I've done wrong when I really look at myself and I self-analyze myself, and now I know what I need to do to correct that. And that's so important. My wish for everyone watching this video is that you would really take those words to heart and do some self-analysis, realize that you have the power within yourself to change anything you want to, and then figure out how you're going to go about doing that. So I think it's very important. So again, that's just a kind of a quick overview of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We do have an affiliate link down below where you can get the book. Now, I recommend this particular book here, this version of it, because it actually has been revised and upgraded. So with that, it's a little easier read than the traditional one was. It goes into, you know, just a little, again, an easier read than the first book was because it's been updated for more like for our times. But if you go to our link that we have below, you can get that particular one. Definitely my favorite book of all time. And like I said, if you liked the video, if you got something good from it, please smash that like button for us. Comment down below what your thoughts are on this. Comment down below also on what else you'd like us to talk about. I touched a little bit on the law of attraction. I touched a little bit about just some of the things that are in this book. But I guarantee you, if you get this book, even read half of the book and you're going to change your life. Read the entire book and you're really going to be on course to make some dramatic changes for yourself. But you can read any part of it. And if you've read the book in the past, do the same thing. If you've got a copy of it, get that copy out, read it again, because I really believe that what you need will find you when you need it. And so there's something in here for you, and I think that's why you're here. I think the Law of Attraction brought you here to read the book. Read that book again and find out what's in there. Because I know for myself, every time I read it, something different just jumps out at me. This time it was, the 55 famous alibis that everybody uses. And again, chapter 16, the Devil's Workshop, and the self-analysis questions I thought were really great. So that's what really jumped out at me at that time, and that's why I'm bringing those to you. But the rest of the book has awesome information for you. So again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. So like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see. Thank you very much.